From a grand final berth to sitting in 10th position with 3 wins and 5 losses, things just haven't really connected for the Western Bulldogs this year. Cal Twomey, what do you make of their season so far?
Well, it hasn't hit the heights yet, has it,
No.
Sarah, given their start to last year and how they ended last year as well. So there's some things that they really need to address as soon as possible. They're obviously missing some key players through injury. We'll get to that shortly, but it's been a pretty tough ride for them. I think what shows how they're going most is that they've beaten the Swans, which was a good win in round 3, but their other 2 wins have come against North Melbourne and Essendon. So really, that paints a good picture and a fair picture of where the Bulldogs' form line has been in 2022.
So one of the big surprises is that they haven't been able to bounce back since that heavy grand final defeat to the Demons. What else has shocked you so far this year?
Yeah, I think that has been a surprise. I mean, there's always some lingering effects of a bad grand final defeat. We've seen that in the past, and they're probably looking like being the most recent example of that. In terms of surprises on the field, though, and I'm not sure I'd say it was a shock because we've always thought he's had talent, but the way that Tim English has come on this year to really take the mantle as their number 1 ruckman has been impressive. We know he's out at the moment with that hamstring niggle. Could be back this week, but we know that he's such an important player for them. He's keen to stay at the club as well, so that's a fill-up for them as they go on their re-signing venture as well this year. It's
certainly a big coup indeed. Now, it's still early in the season, but has anyone stood out to you as an All-Australian contender? And am I thinking that I'm right in saying that it could be Bailey Smith? Because he is one dog who has continued his scintillating form from the finals last year.
Yeah, I spoke to Bailey at the start of the year and he was looking forward to playing full-time midfield and we've seen why. I mean, he's been on the wing, he's been a half forward, he's had to be around the edges of what has been a great midfield, Sarah, over the last few years. But now into his 4th year, we're seeing the evolution of Bailey really come to the fore. He's averaged 32 disposals throughout this season and done really, really well. So what I think we've seen from him through the midfield will put him in contention to be an All-Australian. It should have him as their leader of their best and fairest. The other one, of course, is Aaron Norton. He's kicked 19 goals and been pretty consistent for them as a bit of a lone hand in attack. So he's going pretty well as well.
Now, the Dogs are coming off a loss to Port Adelaide last Friday. It was a match that Luke Beveridge described as a night of carnage for his side. What's the health of the team like? Because as you mentioned off the top, they have been pretty unlucky with injury.
Yeah, they've missed a few key players at different points and haven't really been able to get their full team together at different stages throughout this year. Cody Waitman will miss 2 or 3 weeks with that collarbone injury from the Port Adelaide game. Latham Vandermeer, another soft tissue setback for him with his hamstring, which is a longer term time for him on the sideline. So that's annoying and really frustrating for him. He's a good player for them when he's up and going. Tim O'Brien, a calf injury, not too serious, but still a frustration to not be able to get that continuity. Marcus Bontempelli's been carrying an ankle injury for a little bit now. We all know that because we've seen what he's been able to produce versus what he's been able to produce in the past, and there's a difference. Jason Johannesson has had a 2 to 3 week hamstring for about 6 weeks.
It's a long list.
It's been one that's really sort of dragged along. Alex Keith has missed some footy at different points. Tim English, of course, as well with his hamstring. So Mitch Hannon with that lingering concussion effect. So there's been some real issues for them in terms of getting their best squad together, and that is certainly a reason perhaps for some of their form.
Given that long injury list and the fact that they will be getting players back, they're in 10th. So it hasn't been a complete waste of a season so far, but can you see them playing finals?
I think they're going to be touch and go throughout the rest of the year. They need to get going. As we said, 3 and 5 to start the year is certainly not the place that they want to be. They need to get back to even ledger and then be able to win as many as they lose to sneak in there. But I think they're going to be right in that batch throughout the back end of the season that's close, but not able to give up too many games that they shouldn't because they've left themselves a bit of work to do.
They have indeed. That's what we've made of the Western Bulldogs season so far.